Shalom. Call Holaim La Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, rule and teach well. And a sincere shalom to the 144,001 third. Now I'm just going to dive straight into the topic of this lesson. Let's go to Isaiah 49. Isaiah 49 chapter. I'm going to start from the top, verse 1. Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, ye people from far. Yahweh had called me from the womb, from the bowels of my mother hath he made mention of my name. And he hath made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand hath he hid me, and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver hath he hid me. So guess what? This applies to all the prophets. This applies to all the men of the Lord. Okay, preaching the gospel, pushing the truth with all truth and sincerity. All right, not taking their hand off the plow, continuing in the faith, enduring the hardship. And guess what? The reward is, guess what? You bring in more people into this doctrine, and then the second covenant, righteousness, to not be laden with sin, to be in the good graces of Yahweh, our Creator. Verse 3, and said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Yasharallah, in whom I will be glorified. So Yahweh's glory is going to be in the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, Judah on down. And guess what? It starts with the elect out of 12,000 out of each tribe, which is 144,000. So, and that sharp sword is the scriptures. Okay, bringing out the scriptures in the right manner and not butchering it and deceiving people like 99.9% of these religions that try to base themselves off the scriptures, like Roman Catholics, Christianity, the Mormons. Okay, let's go to Isaiah 59, Isaiah 59 and verse 21. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith Yahweh. Who is them? The Israelites, Jacob. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth, shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed's seed, saith Yahweh, from henceforth and forever. So guess what? The doctrine is always going to be in the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And as we know, all right, or you're going to know now, Jacob's name was changed to Israel when he fought an angel. His name was changed to Israel, which means he, prince, power, Yasharallah. And guess what? That's the chosen seed, all right, from Abraham to be above all other nations on the earth, the Israelites, the 12 tribes, which is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And of course, the speckled bird, that lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You're going to have Israelites looking like so-called white people, like the Irish. There's a lot of Jakes amongst them Irish, like Conor McGregor, even Israelites, Jakes in the world that don't understand the scriptures, understands that Conor McGregor is an Israelite. All right, like Terrence Crawford, he was hanging out with Conor McGregor, and he said Conor McGregor is one of his people. Like he said, Conor McGregor is basically black. That's what he was saying. And yeah, Conor McGregor is a Jake. A lot of those Irish, like Mac Miller too, right? Mac Miller, he's Irish descent. Also, he's also like a small hat too, but he's clearly a Jake as well. All right, so there's a lot of Israelites among the Edomites, particularly Ireland, the UK area, because Jake was up there, right? Jake was making all those castles, the knights and all that, right? You're gonna have Jakes among Moab. You're gonna have Jakes among Ishmael. All right, Jake, the Israelites, Jacob has been scattered throughout the four corners. Now let's get St. Matthew, the 24th chapter, and verse 14. And it reads, in this gospel, what is the gospel? The good news that Yahweh Shai came to redeem the 12 tribes. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So is this literally talking about saving just any human being, so to speak? No. All right, the Israelites were scattered in all nations. That's why the gospel had to be preached in all nations, because you know the typical Israelite can't just see somebody and be like, oh yeah, that's an Israelite. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. You have to be of a higher realm of existence to see somebody's spirit on that level. Like the angels can see, of course, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, certain spirits. They can, identify people by their spirits, but we can do it to a lesser degree. All right, to a lesser degree, we can do it. So that's why the gospel, and ultimately of the elect too. All right, because you're gonna have Jakes, that know that they're Israelites and not make it. You're gonna have a hell of a lot of Jakes that don't know that they're Jakes and not make it. Okay, let's get this right here. What is this? Genesis? No, not Genesis. Deuteronomy. So this is Deuteronomy 30:3. Then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, where the Yahweh thy power have scattered thee. So there you go. And as we know, Deuteronomy 28:15 verse on down is the curses. Let's read that. Deuteronomy 28:64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, whether thou which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So that's why the gospel had to be preached into all nations. Why? Because his people, he scattered his people in all nations. Let's go to Jeremiah. Go back to Jeremiah 23. This is Jeremiah the 23rd chapter, and verse 29. Is not my word like a fire, saith Yahweh, and like a hammer that breaketh the rocks in pieces? So guess what? Yahweh, okay, he created the concept of speaking. He created thinking, consciousness, shoes, clothing, teeth, dentists, doctors. Yahweh created all these things. So when he speaks, all right, and he condemns you, you're condemned. You're finished. All right. And if he uplifts you, guess what? You're uplifted. You're at the top. So when Yahweh goes forth with his judgment, with his gospel, it's going to be done, because it's the work of Yahweh, not the workings of men. Let's see if I can get the scripture on that. May not be able to find it, but let's give it a try. All right, so let's get that. Found it. Let's get Acts. Acts, the 5th chapter, and verse 38, and it reads, "And now I'm gonna end this off right here too. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught." Yeah, everything man does decays, right? TVs go bad, your clothes go bad, buildings, infrastructure, everything that works of men has flaws and eventually goes away. Verse 39. But if be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it lest happily ye be found even to fight against the Most High. So guess what? If Yahweh has something he wants to get done, it's going to get done. It's impossible. All right? Because Yahweh created the concept of sabotage. Yahweh created the concept of failure. All right? How can you cause somebody to fail when they created what failure is? You understand? So with that, Shalom.